comments from some of your teammates on that. And I consider both of them friends. And I do not know why they're not in the Plattsburgh State Hall of Fame, but you can count on that you both will, without a doubt. But I think people want you both to go in together, because that's the way you guys were, together all the time. So some of the comments I'll start out with. This is from Paul Glotus, and he says, two of the all-time program greats that I had the pleasure of playing with and learning from as a freshman. And he also said both should be in the Plattsburgh State Sports Hall of Fame. Two of the best players I've ever played with. I'm grateful to both and Danny Thies for pushing me to work hard in the weight room, where he became an inside player, ice, as you know, and work on my game on a daily basis. A lot of great basketball players have resided on the Plattsburgh State campus, and KB and Ice, if you don't know, Kevin's nickname is KB, and Ice are the two all-time greats, without a doubt. Do you guys want to just talk real quick before I start getting into the questions? Kevin, first.
Yeah. Hey, well, thanks for having me on, Tom. Appreciate it. And good to hear from IOPG. That's what we call them. That's Instant Offense, Paul Glotus.
Even back when you guys were playing, I thought wasn't he more of like a three guard, or he didn't have he was skinny, right?
Yeah, but he was more small forwardish. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but there's a lot more comments too coming. Ice, or Paul Einsmann, his name is Ice. Little intro for yourself.
Yeah, thanks. First off, thanks for having me on, and real nice to connect. I recently got on a text chain with a group of the guys from the Plattsburgh area, and it's brings everything back. Appreciate Paul Glotus's comment. He played real hard, and every minute he had as a freshman, he was a real asset to the team. And all these guys at Plattsburgh, local guys, Joey Percelli and Scott Wilfor and Dane Wall and Alberg, just all good guys, and made some great friendships, and we had a great camaraderie when we played at Plattsburgh, and loved Norm and loved the campus, and it was had a great time there. Really enjoyed it.
In fact, I interviewed Norm, and I actually interviewed Eric Von Schiller. He's got some comments too, but this is from Danny Thies. He said, Ice was undersized for a big man. Great first step and very clever. He would shield the ball, make great passes to Paul, outplayed every big man, including Drew Schomburg. Do you remember that matchup, playing against Schomburg? I bet that was tough.
Yeah, he was... Actually, St. Lawrence beat us, and he was a handful, Schomburg. He was big, he was strong, he was physical. He was a tough matchup. Played against him in PBA and played once against him when we played St. Lawrence. But he was a tough matchup, good ball player.
Mikey Valti, I heard you put one on him when you guys played UVM. He had no answer for you.
Yeah, well... that was the last time that Plattsburgh State beat the University of Vermont, was junior year, and Danny Thies hit a big shot, and Kevin scored 20-some-odd points. But
I had 31 for him. I looked it up. It said 31.
Yep. And then senior year against UVM, we got beat. Kevin had foul trouble early. He had 3 fouls 5 minutes into the game, so that kind of put us back a little bit. But it was tough matchups. UVM had 6'7", and
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was matched up against bigger guys, rotating in, and it was it was good work for me. It was good to play against bigger guys and have to really work on defense and boxing out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't forget that senior year when we played them.
Yeah.
I played a total of 8 minutes, but
Wow.
I still got 30 on them.
Yeah, I had a high-scoring game the second year, yep.
I heard your junior year that when you guys beat them, many of you guys got sick on the ferry. How could you get sick on the ferry?
Well, I do remember that. It was kind of stormy. It was kind of like we were on the bus, and there was a storm.
Yeah, we were on the bus on the ferry, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it was like guys getting seasick. It was crazy. We were rocking all over the place, and then, of course, once the first guy gets sick, everyone else starts turning white. So that was
our first game together ever.
Yeah.
Really?
At Plattsburgh, yeah.
Wow. Joe Purcelli, he made a comment. He said to make sure how much he loves you guys still, and he wish he could stay in touch with you more. KB, you should get on our chat group. I think we need you on there, right? Right, Paul?
Yeah, I was talking to him prior to the call, and I think that's something that he needs to jump on. He would add a lot of value.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, it should be fun. Tom, I can hardly hear you.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me a little bit better now?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Is there? Let's see if my technology person can work on that. Sorry. I'm going to speak louder then. And also against UVM, Kevin showed them the real Division I player. That's when you had 31. And as far as let's see, you hit a buzzer shot. I know.
Danny hit a buzzer shot.
Okay, yes, that was Danny saying
on the top of the key, and Danny had 10 field goals.
Mm-hmm.
He was very high shooting percentage that night. And Paul, speaking of Paul Glotus, he had a couple of late game steals.
He did.
And it was really fun. But when we went back senior year, they said this is not going to happen again.
Yeah.
It's too bad that they wouldn't come to Plattsburgh State. You had to go there. You know what I mean?
Well, we were that team that most of the Division I schools have that come in that first game, they blow them out, they're 1-0, and the crowd gets hyped for their season and stuff like that. So that's why we had to go there. I don't think any of the Division I's go to Division III teams.
Yeah. Danny said that Jeff Brown. Remember Jeff Brown was guarding Danny, and he hit a step back three. He said he knew it was in right away. But he also says against Geneseo, KB, he said you rarely dunk in games, but you hummed one, and it was like a hook right on someone. And after that dunk, Danny said we went on a run because they were so pumped, and you ended up winning that game at Geneseo, I believe. So
yeah, that was a double overtime game, and Pettione had passed me the ball, and the guy went for the pass, so I had a straight run to the hole. But when I got there, I went up to lay it in, but these two guys jumped up, and I saw their hands, and I don't know, I just turned it over and done. It was more instinct than anything, and we went on a good run. But the person who kept us in that game early was Ice.
Wow.
He was like 9 for 9 from the field, but he fouled out.
Well, you still won the game, and back then Geneseo was pretty tough. How about Albany and Potsdam? How did you guys match up, and who did you both guard in those games, if you remember? Or who guarded you, or whatever? If you can't remember, don't worry about it. But
well, I remember I was matched up with Derek Rowland.
Oh my gosh, NBA player.
Yeah, he was a heck of a player. I actually did play with him in the Empire State Games, my third and fourth year playing in that, and he was a tough matchup. He ended up playing for the Milwaukee Bucks. So,
yes. Yep.
Both years, Potsdam beat us, but we did split with Albany State, and against Albany State, I was matched up with Dickelman, who was a good ball player.
Was Barry
John
Kavanaugh
Dickelman,
on that team?
The first year he was, yes, and then he graduated. So I guess I played against Barry Kavanaugh. But that was a good matchup, good games. We had a tough game down at Albany our senior year, which was or our junior year, which we lost by a couple points. That was a tough loss, but we did beat them at home, so that was a solid win for us.
Tell me both about Tom Curl said to tell you guys, look at the banner, and he said both of you will know what that means when you guys won the SUNYAC championship. I think what he's referring to is you guys not getting an NCAA bid, and you're supposed to, but you tied with two other teams, and I told you Norm called the committee, and he said we should be in, and they told him you'd be in if you had a good big man. That's the exact answer. And they didn't know you. I mean, obviously they because you're 6'3", 6'4", they're thinking, well, he's not going to be able to do it. But Norm was really ticked off. So, but you guys ended up playing in the ECAC, and you lost at Hamilton, which is really a tough place to play. Do you guys remember that Hamilton game? ECAC championship?
I don't know about that. I don't remember that particular Hamilton game. I don't even know if we played Hamilton that time in the ECAC. I know we played in a tournament at Hamilton earlier in the year, and they had All-American Cedric Oliver.
Oh, wow, gosh!
But as I remember the NCAA tournament bid thing, from what I was told at the time, was that the NCAA, that the SUNY rules was that it was going to be the record between the three of us, Albany and Potsdam. And what happened, everybody played everybody once, but there was one team you played twice, and for us, the one team we played twice was Potsdam.
Yeah. And
so we were 9-2, but our only loss in conference play was to Potsdam because we lost to them twice. So the NCAA said the record between the three of you is Potsdam is 2-1, Albany is 1-1, and Plattsburgh is 1-2. And so Potsdam got the automatic bid, and Albany got an at-large bid at South, and we were left out.
Yeah, but Norm, as you know, he fought it, and that was their comment. And I think Ice would have lit up any of those centers without a doubt.
Well, so, we had enough of a front line to beat the University of Vermont, and then also we beat the University of Buffalo, who had what was his name, Nate Bowie.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah.
And he was I don't know, he was 6'7", 6'8", who played inside out. So we matched up pretty solid against teams with big front lines. So we would have loved to have been there, but.
Yeah, we also, unlike a lot of the other teams, we played a number of Division II teams as well. We played New York Tech, we played Hartwick, which, all of them had big men that we matched up well with.
Yeah, we went over and played, actually, before the season started, we went across and played against St. Michael's.
Oh, yeah.
Where we played 3 halves, and we they were a Division II school with solid big front line, and we not only held our own, but we won every one of those halves.
Wow.
And that was a good experience. I think that got our confidence up, and had some new players got together, and we said we can compete with whoever we play. We're ready.
You guys.
In the Empire
go
State
ahead.
games,
Yep.
in the Empire State games, there were super bigs on every team. I mean, people know that Sid Green was on the city team, but we had David Russell and Lionel Harvey on the Long Island team. They had the 6'11" guys on the Western New York team. So, and as you know, we held our own there because that was, we swept through that and got the gold. And the funny thing about that was the coach came to me and he told me that the Empire State Games has a rule against two guys from the same school starting. And so, and we needed ice in the middle, so I came off the bench.
I didn't know that. Who was the coach for Empire?
Fabiano.
Jerry, Jerry Fabiano, real nice man, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
We saw him in 1980 when they had the 40-year anniversary of our gold medal, and we got inducted to the Upstate New York Hall of Fame. And kudos to Tom Curl also, and Coach Law for getting inducted.
Yep.
Tom, what a great career as a coach at Plattsburgh State and Norm also. So, yeah.
And Danny went on to say, definitely two Hall of Famers. They should go in together. Best players I've ever had the privilege of being teammates, both unselfish and just wanted to win. And I remember that. I remember pickup games. If you were on KB's team, you didn't lose. You never lost. And another thing I remember, you guys remember John Ford played at Norwich?
He went to St. John's and then Norwich. Yep.
I remember playing in a pickup game in ice. He dunked on you a little bit, not really on you, and I could see it in your face. You said, all right, you want to do that? Very next play, you dunked right on him, down at the other end. I'll never forget that. But KB, talk about your the 65 and over championships that you guys have won. That's phenomenal. That really is.
Yeah, we have I play on a couple of teams. Well, the main team I play on, they're called USA Global now. We played internationally, Japan, Brazil, Portugal, and we play here. And then for 3-on-3, my team, the Georgia Boys, we have 6 National Senior Games gold medals and a couple of bronze. We had 5 gold medals in a row. But there's an interesting thing about that team. There's a guy on my team here named Warren Freeman.
Oh yeah, UVM.
Yeah, Warren played at UVM, and he's in the Upstate New York Basketball Hall of Fame as an individual. And we started playing Masters and winning these gold medals, and didn't even know that we had played against each other in the PBA tournament up there.
Yeah.
We're on the all tournament team together and stuff like that. We had no clue. We're playing, winning gold medals, and then one day somebody sends me an article, and him and I on the all tournament team, and I send it to him in the text. We had no clue we even knew of each other.
Wow. Is he still be able to, when he plays for it, still hitting the shot all the time, or?
Oh yeah, Warren's the man for us. He's in our 5-on-5 team. Warren is the man. We on 3-on-3, we just spread it and let Warren go, and he'll drive, dish it off, or take it to the hole. Yeah, Warren's still the man. I think at one time he was the all-time leading scorer for UVM.
Yeah, he was. And then a couple of people, I think Jeff Brown broke it, and then someone else recently broke it. But Danny,
now with the shot clock and the 3-point line,
I
none
know
of those records are going to stay.
Yep. But Danny couldn't talk. I mean, he was so impressed with you guys, and he said he keeps in touch with Ice, but he'd like to keep in touch with you, KB. I don't know if you can get a hold of him, but this is from Coach Von Schiller. He said, make sure to say hello to both of them for me. They definitely are the 2 best players I've ever coached, and not just talent. They were outstanding teammates to everyone, excellent attitude, studies, and he says, I'll never forget that broom game when we were down 1 with 2 seconds left, and he called an out-of-bounds play that he said he made it up during the timeout, and I think Kevin, I think it went to you, and you hit a shot, and he said 2 of the best without a doubt. And
the key to that one, and he did. He called what happened. He called a timeout, and we didn't have any.
Oh no!
To avoid controversy, the other coach took the timeout. So they were up by 1, and he called the play, and of course it was for Ice to pick for me at the top of the key. Now, that was basically it. I started low. Ice picked for me at the top of the key, and I hit the shot from the top of the key. But here's the funniest thing about hitting that shot. Normally, everybody runs to the player who hit the shot. Well, at Canton, whenever we won a home game, there was a place that gave us each 2 6-packs. And so when I threw the pick and I hit the shot, and the buzzer went off, and everybody ran with their arms up, going 6-pack, 6-pack, 6-pack.
Wow! Talk about that great Canton team that you guys were on. Coach Von Schiller said it was his best team ever. Can you guys just comment on that team? Because you guys almost won the regional championship. I think you lost in overtime to someone.
That year we were 25-4.
Wow.
We had a great year. We had KB and Kevin Doherty and Leo Ryan, the local guys, and Henry Richards, Skip Joyner, Joe Isabella, Bob Drummond, another North Country guy, Dan Hunley from Canton, and I know I'm missing some guys, but we had a lot of good wins. We beat Delhi in a real good game. They had a loaded team. Mike Dean was the coach, and Dan Thies was actually playing for Delhi. And we actually won the sub-regional. I think we beat Schenectady, was it, Kevin?
Yeah, it might have been. I don't remember. I remember we lost to, I think it was Niagara.
For the championship?
Jamestown is who we lost.
Jamestown. It was Jamestown. Yeah.
That was in the Final Four, and then Jamestown lost to Niagara. So
Niagara, right?
Yeah, we were. There were 48 teams, I think, in the region.
Yes.
And we were in the top 5 most of the year, and we won a regional playoff game, and then we got beat. The team we played, Jamestown, they held the ball. They went 4 corners for the majority of the game, and it was kind of
boring.
You do whatever you have to do to win a ball game, but that was a tough way to go out, chasing after the ball, team going 4 corners.
And we were a little outmatched in that game because the Jamestown and Niagara were the 2 junior colleges that had mostly Division I players on it. These guys got recruited by all the Division I teams, and so their guards were big. And I grew up with Henry Richards, the point guard.
Yep.
We were friends since 4th grade, and he's the one that got me to go up there. Actually, I wasn't going to go back to school, and he was like, "Come on to Canton." I didn't hear anything about it, but he called Von Schiller, and Von Schiller said, "Sure, come on up." And I got there, but the team was, Ice was our leading scorer and rebounder, and we had a good time. We used to play Queen. We Will Rock You. We would play that at all the home games. The other team, remember that, Ice?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that must have been fun to watch. Paul, this is from Norm. He said, Paul destroyed everyone's centers. We played them in any center in the regular season. He said he would love to see you guys again, and he's doing well. He's in Pittsburgh. Maybe you guys should give him a call. I think Ice, I think you do call him. KB.
I spoke to him a couple times in the last few years.
Yeah. He said Kevin was just amazing, just flat out amazing. Kevin, talk about your time at UNLV.
Well, I think what a lot of people didn't know was that I didn't get any run at UNLV. They would have us, me and another guy, Pepper Bartlett, we would play JV because one of Tark's recruiting tools was he invited the top junior colleges in the country to come in and play the JV.
Mm-hmm.
Then he could recruit without a trip.
Mm-hmm.
And so he made us play JV, so we played these guys night after night, San Jacinto, Santa Ana, Southern Idaho, Dixie College, all of them. That's how he got Ricky Sobers from Southern Idaho and some of the other junior college transfers that he would get. So, but the thing was, what a lot of people probably didn't know was that I was a band and orchestra and drum and bugle corps guy. I never played basketball in high school.
Wow.
So when I left high school, of course I didn't get recruited anywhere because I didn't play basketball, and I went into the military.
Yep.
And I ended up in the military at Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, I was all TAC and all this other kind of stuff in the military, and they recruited me to Vegas. But it didn't end up like I thought it was, and I guess, I was young and didn't know you pay your dues, you sit the bench as a freshman,
Yep.
And so I just left school, and I came home, and that's when Henry was like, well, come up to Canton with me. And then after Canton, again, I wasn't going to go anywhere. And I had a few recruits. Hamilton recruited me a couple of places. And then I got a call from Coach Law, and he talked to me about coming there, and I wasn't really listening that great. He said, well, ICE is coming. And I said, all right, sign me up.
Yeah, it was awfully fortunate for me to play 3 years college ball with you, Kevin. I'd screen down, Kevin would pop out, hit the jump shot, or drop it in, and then we spot up, and I would always be looking for him or Joey Porcelli on the weak side. And just at Canton, I had Leo and Kevin Doherty who would spot up, so it was great inside-out basketball. I loved it, just unselfish teammates, and it was very fortunate to have so many good teammates who were unselfish.
Especially Danny. When we played with Danny Peace, nobody knows the hours and hours of practice this guy did just to get assists. I mean, just like everything, or to hold the ball at the top while the other guard was trying to take it out of his hands and stuff like that. You'd see him in the gym just moving the ball back and forth when somebody's trying to take it out of his hands.
He was tough. There's no doubt. Did you guys have trouble?
He challenged everyone. Danny Cease challenged you in the weight room. He challenged you in the gym, and he challenged you to do the right thing. So he was a real leader for us at Plattsburgh.
Do you remember Joe Porcelli's? He had I didn't make the team, and I was watching, and Joe would have a jump shot wide open, but then he'd just boom it to someone underneath, and sometimes they weren't expecting it. Like Paul Cheswick, I think, or not Cheswick, Tom Cheswick, I think he bounced it off his head. Those guys weren't ready for that pass, but you guys were. You knew what he was doing. You remember that thing that I used to say, shoot it.
Joe was such a good shooter. Joe was such a good shooter that when he got into that motion, you just expected he was going to shoot it, and that's why guys would just head to the basket for the rebound. But he would bring it down there, and Joe hesitated a lot more than he should because he was, I think, undoubtedly the best shooter on the team. And I think he hesitated a lot more than he should. And look, when we played in tournaments, Joe was always on the all-tournament team. I never made an all-tournament team.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Joe was always on the all-tournament team.
Did you make all Suniac,
I think he might have won the MVP of the Brooklyn College tournament.
Wow.
Yeah, he got the MVP when we played in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Him and I right now are pretty tight. He's working my camp, and he's going to be working as a station drill in the weight room. Basketball related weightlifting, and he's phenomenal. He's just a great guy, and he said to make sure that you say hello to my two buddies, and he didn't write anything, but he told me to say it. So, do you guys remember Jeff Moskowitz? Anyone? He was at St. Lawrence when you guys were at Canton, and he's from Plattsburgh, but we played pickup. But I'm just going to read a little bit. He's actually a judge in Portland, Maine. As for Kevin Baldwin, he was absolutely the smoothest player I've ever saw during my time as a player, and I really mean smooth. I was lucky enough to play with him in a summer pickup game in Memorial and played against him when he was at Canton because he was on the St. Lawrence JVs at the time. He glided around, could explode. 3 or 4 minutes would go by, and he'd score a load of points from everywhere. He was offensively dangerous anywhere on the floor. He was pretty complete offensive player. By that I mean he could pass too. I don't think he got enough credit for his passing skills. And for Ice, Jeff said he was a player that I wish I was. He was a Tyler Hansborough before Hansborough was even born. That kind of player doesn't come around very often. He wasn't very big, but he was tougher than any bag of hammers, strong as anything, and he had pretty good ups. He'd leave everyone on the floor, had a lion's heart. Always thought he never got the credit he deserved. He was highly underrated. And you guys don't remember Jeff Moskowitz? Do you remember him?
I vaguely remember him because we used to play a lot. We used to play a lot at St. Lawrence when the season was over.
Mm-hmm.
We'd go play a lot of pickup over at St. Lawrence because they had I forget the other guy's name too. He was an All-American there.
George Hughes.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Hughes. Yeah, George Hughes. Yeah, he was an All-American there. So we would want to go over there just to play against them guys pickup when we were at Canton because it's one thing about Ice. There's nobody he feared. We would go places and somebody would talk about this great player, and we just want to go against them.
That's the way I knew both you guys. This is from your old buddy Dane Wall. I was fortunate enough to have played with Kevin and Paul at Plattsburgh Gate during my 79-80 season, and I was an 18-year-old freshman, and they were both seniors. Kevin and Paul were amazing talents. Kevin was so smooth, and Paul was a beast. But what I remember most about them was the tremendous character they both exhibited. They, along with Danny, who was also a senior on the team, were the obvious leaders. They treated everyone on the team with such respect and vice versa. And the picture that I texted us earlier of Kevin shows he aged well. I put it on Facebook. I've been fortunate enough to see Paul over the years in pictures. He has been with old friends. The fact that he is such an avid skier surprised me. Do you ski, Ice? In Florida?
Sorry, I didn't hear the last part, Tom.
The fact that he is such an avid skier surprised me. That's what Dane said.
Well, my younger son moved to Denver, and he loves skiing, and I go out and ski with him. Now that I'm retired, I went twice last year. I go once or twice a year. So yeah, I do ski every year. Son just bought a condo in Crested Butte, Colorado. So yeah, I get out there on the green slopes and the blue slopes, and I do have. My older son has said that I probably have 1 or 2 more good years of skiing, and then I will be the guy who cooks dinner and cleans the unit. So he's a pain in the butt, just like me. So which is good. So. A lot of good times with my son skiing. Yeah,
I bet. This is from let's see, who's this? Oh, Cal Cohen, who you guys know. Kevin and Paul, 2 great players, 2 great teammates. My question for both of them: what was your favorite memories of the 1980 Empire State Game gold medal winning Adirondack basketball team? And KB, you go first.
Well, I think for me, well, as far as watching those guys, as far as Hal and Freddie Daniels in the backcourt, I think I think every game they probably got 50 out of the backcourt. Just Hal Cohen and Freddie Daniels, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And some of my greatest memories was after the games, we would go to this little sports bar, and Ice and I would be sitting at one table with pitchers of beer, and Hal and Rick Carlisle would be at another table stacking cans of Mountain Dew.
Oh yeah.
Because they didn't drink. You know, we'd be sitting there going, "What are these guys doing? Stacking cans of Mountain Dew?" And then also, I enjoyed, you know, I always enjoyed blocking shots, or trying to stick guys to the backboard.
Mm-hmm.
And when we played New York, there was, you know, a couple guys, dunks, Rudy Johnson from New York, that dunked that I blocked. And
I can't believe you guys beat them, man.
You know, but I enjoyed those games because when you talk about unselfish teams, you also talk about how they thought the newspapers thought that the team was stacked too much with North Country guys, because we had a tryout at Plattsburgh,
Mm-hmm.
and then they sent like 6 or 7 of us down to Albany for a whole nother tryout with all of those guys from down there. And then they felt like they selected too many of us, was Hal and Rick, myself, and
Mm-hmm.
Paul from the North Country. But you know, we showed them, as the newspaper said afterwards, that they played basketball as good in basketball as they do in Syracuse,
Mm-hmm.
and Plattsburgh as they do in Syracuse. Yeah.
Ice, what do you have any comments about that gold medal performance?
What I remember was, you know, Coach Fabiano. He had us play man-to-man pressure D, and the guards were running and jumping in the backcourt. You know, he said we can't walk the ball up and down. We are outmatched size-wise. You know, Einsmann, you need to front, stay ball side on their big men.
Mm-hmm.
Guards, you need to keep pressure so they can't pound it inside. But we were fundamentally sound. We were unselfish, and we had great camaraderie. Just having Kevin and Fred Daniels and
Mm-hmm.
Hal Cohen and Rick Carlisle, you know, on the floor at the same time. It was
Fundamentally
a tough
sound.
team to beat. And after we won the first game against New York, we came back and we're playing them in the gold medal game, and you know, as in warm-ups, they had a lot to say. It ain't happening again. And we're trying to psych us out, intimidate us, and the second game was worse than the first. We played even better, and just our defense was great, and we were unselfish and won the game with, you know, without a doubt, it was a win.
That first game, we ran so hard out the box. I think we were up like 25 in the first half.
Oh my goodness!
We had to come back in the second half, but we were like, Hal tells the story about his girlfriend came there late, and she saw the score and was about to walk out because she thought they were blowing us out like that.
Hal's listening, by the way, so if you want to say hello to him.
Good.
Yeah, he.
Excellent.
Yeah, but the one thing that he talked about in that game as well was Ice. You destroyed Sidney Green, destroyed him. Well, I mean, kind of held him down. You know, here's an NBA player, and you just he didn't know what to do against you. You know, so you know, I think that's that is unbelievable. You know, holding.
I just tried to run up and down the court, hustle as best I could, and stay front side, ball side on them, and the guards really had great pressure D and made it difficult for them to make entry passes. So, yeah, it wasn't a one man thing. It was a good team defense, pressuring the ball, running and jumping, and controlling the tempo of the game.
Okay. Also, Coach Von Schiller, who's 90 now, is listening. Do you guys want to say something real quick to him?
Vaughn!
Yeah, Coach Von Schiller, I wanted to thank him. He brought me in, had me visit the school, treated me well, and what a great campus. And he treated everyone fairly, made everybody work hard, and really put together a great team. 25-4. You got to have an off game somewhere, but he pushed the right buttons, and our team, it was a great team to play for. And I appreciate you, Coach.
Yeah, I owe the whole thing to Vaughn because Vaughn never saw me play a day in my life and invited me to Canton. That's you know what I mean. And so and that's what started it all because I would have never gotten upstate New York. I'd have never played. I was content with going to West 4th Street and playing pickup every morning. And Vaughn, he invited me there and made sure everything was taken care of because I was waiting for my VA benefits to kick in and we had an off-campus apartment and that was the best. That started the whole thing. Love you, Vaughn.
Yeah, I talked to 10 of my buddies on that chat group, and 6 of them said, talk about it. 4 said no. So 6-4, we're going to talk about it, Kevin. Mothers.
Oh, no.
Wet buns contest.
I know where this is going.
Wet buns contest. You won the one without us cheering for you. You took that, whatever, $100, didn't buy anyone a drink, went to Monopole, bought a pizza, and that was it.
Well, say it ain't so.
I love pizza, man. It was fun, and I guess I never really thought about it.
Yeah, we were thinking
aspect, it, but definitely, I definitely wouldn't have won without guys cheering, of course. But, it was we had such great times going down to Mother's.
Yeah.
And he gave us all guest passes, and we could bring one guest too.
Yeah.
Everybody on the team and stuff. So we hung out pretty regularly.
Yep.
And
Tom Curl was the main one that said, "Yeah, you got to tell that story." He didn't buy any of us anything.
You're right, man. But I'm from Brooklyn.
They're just kidding.
We get a chance to pocket some money. We pocket it.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys. Well, Ice knows that I run a free basketball camp. KB, did you know that? We're the only free basketball camp, I think, in the country, and we have 200 girls for the first week, and then another week 200 boys. I had to cap it because we had too many, but everyone is getting a free pair of sneakers, which has never been done, and I get it through fundraising, and they get an indoor-outdoor basketball, a really nice one with Kobe's insignia, on it, and what else I get? I've always been a trophy guy. And I bought 200 trophies. We have a camper of the day for 3rd, 4th, 5th, so someone will get it. And I usually give it to someone that just has a great attitude. And I invited some unified basketball players, that play, that have, they're in special ed, and they'll have fun too. I'm going to put them on a team just to have fun. No, and I do it, guys, because I grew up about as poor as you could possibly be, and I couldn't even afford sneakers, and I had a teammate who actually is a billionaire now, and he would buy me sneakers, Adidas Pro Model, and that's why I really run a free camp. I love giving back to the community, and I'd like to have you guys one day, if you ever can make it here, be a guest speaker. And I know without a doubt, I think a lot of people are listening. They're saying, those 2 guys are not in the Hall of Fame. I think it's going to happen real soon now. I think people just forgot about you guys. I think. So.
Well, I think one of the things was in the earlier days of the Hall of Fame, they didn't let transfers in.
Well, they do now.
You had to be like a 4-year player. But I say they let them in now. And some great guys are going in, man. That guy, Anthony Williams, man, is just...
Yeah.
I watched it when he was there, and, true All-American, and
yep.
certainly deserves it, whether he was a junior college transfer or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when I always looked at it, I said, look, I don't see Ronnie Wright in there. I mean, he's in there with the team from '76.
I stay in touch with Ronnie. I'm not sure if he got his degree, but even if he didn't, get him in there. He was one of the best. When
I look at it and I see that Ronnie Wright's not in there, then I don't worry about it.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I'm going to pull for him too. I'm taking my all-star team from my camp to Rucker Park in July 21st. We got 2 games against 2 New York City teams. It's going to be a big media thing here in Plattsburgh because no North Country team has ever played at Rucker Park. Have you guys played there?
Yeah, we played. I played there when I was younger, but we played there a couple of years ago. The Masters tournament. There's a guy out of New York who runs Masters tournaments, and he did. We went up. We played one round at Basketball City. We played another round at Columbia, and then we played the championship at Rucker Park. And Joe Hammond and Earl Monroe came.
Oh yeah. It's a museum, isn't it? It's no different. I mean, there's so many great players that played there, and the one thing we play a 12 o'clock game and a 1:30, and then the Pro Rucker will be, the guys will be able to watch some really good talent after our games are over. And I'm hoping we don't get beat pretty bad, but you never know. We have some.
I'll tell you one thing, it's going to be blazing hot.
Yeah.
It's hot out there, man. At 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at the Rucker, it's going to be blazing hot. That's why the pro guys are not playing until the sun goes down, practically.
Do they have a guy, a DJ that kind of, calls the game and sometimes might go below the belt? So I want some of my players, they better have thick skin. You know what I mean? If they throw an air ball up, they're going to hear about it.
Yes, and also these New York City kids, they talk a lot of stuff. They try to intimidate through the talk. So just, like you said, they got to have thick skins. Don't worry about the talk. Play hard.
Yep.
Hydrate really good because it's going to be really hot.
Okay. Are you going to be in New York City then? If you are, you should go check it out. If you're not, don't worry about it. We would love to see you.
I'll be in Vegas then, and I live in Atlanta now, but I'll be in Vegas then.
Okay.
But I do get to New York every now and then. I would have loved to come.
I know Ronnie Wright is coming. He told me that he's going to go watch, and you're right about him. We're going to push to get him in there too. It's time for these guys. Norm said that you two are the top 5 players that he's ever seen at Plattsburgh State, and I'm sure Larry Parker is one, and Anthony Williams is definitely one, and Ronnie Wright too. He was like a Kyrie Irving, unstoppable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ronnie Wright was unstoppable, and probably would still have a lot of the scoring records if it wasn't for the shot clock and the 3-point line.
Yeah, he scored 61 at Rucker Park. That's what the guy told me. So. The record there is 71 by Joe Hammond. So
yeah, Joe, you'll be surprised. Joe will probably be there when you guys come. He kind of hangs out at that Rucker Park, and you'll be surprised when you see Joe. He's probably about 6'1" now. So hell of a player. And Ronnie, those games up there though, sometimes the guys on the clock will make those games go almost 3 hours. But
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Rucker Park's a lot of fun, being in Harlem and and down in you'll see the projects tower over the park, and where everybody used to just hang out of their windows, and sit on rooftops to watch the Doc and all of them play back in the day. So yeah, it's going to be it's going to be something that the kids will be talking about.
Yes.
Forever.
I'm not sure if they realize the significance of really playing there, but I think after they play there, they're going to realize it. Ice, have you ever played there?
I have not. The closest I got to that park playing was playing against Rice High School in Manhattan.
Okay.
Or Harlem. Yeah. But I never made it there. There were plenty of good parks in Queens where I could go play with the guys from Holy Cross or St. John's and get good runs locally. So
I've never been there.
Not having played high school ball, I played a lot of tournament ball. And so we would, they'd have local tournaments up at the Rucker, not like the Pro Rucker or anything, but regular tournament games, but we played tournaments all over the city and PAL. Because my senior class of high school in New York City, in Brooklyn, included Bernard King, Lloyd Free,
Wow.
Fly Williams. I went to junior high school. I went from 5th grade up with Mike Dunleavy. So all of these guys, and we'd play all the time at night, which is one of the reasons I never tried out for high school, because I played with these guys every day. I said I must not be that good.
You know what? That's amazing that you didn't play in high school, because you're one of the best I've ever seen. I'm not kidding you. Anthony Williams is up there too. And when I coached in junior college, I had a really good player too that ranks right up there. And he ended up going to Potsdam and became an All-American. His name was Denfield James. I coached at Clinton, and so. But you guys know that Hal still has the record for most consecutive free throws in New York State, right? Did you guys know that?
Oh yeah. I remember when he did that. Yeah.
I'm going to brag here, and when we're 65, we can brag, right?
Exactly.
I made 388. I'm second, by the way, in free throws.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's a brag. I'm sorry for bragging.
Amazing.
Did you guys ever? Did you guys ever go and play in the prisons around here when you were here?
I did.
Yeah. I did. We played in the prison. It's funny, they used to bring us through the prison to go out there and play, and the guys from the kitchen would see us first. And they had a thing. I don't know, Ice, if you remember. They would only let me come every other week. I couldn't come every week, and we go up there, and those guys would do the same thing. The game would be like 3 hours. They'd have house rules. Yeah. You couldn't throw the ball in on this side of the bar and everything. But they loved it so much there was never any trouble.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, we'd be out there in the yard. We'd see all the guys cooking grilled cheese sandwiches down in their little things in the yard, and that was amazing. But Ice, you remember we played in that prison league? We played in the prison. We played in the outside prison league with the prison guards and stuff.
Oh my gosh!
And we were just killing teams. It was me, Danny, and Ice. And we were just blowing teams out, and individually we're scoring 55 and 50 points. And so it goes time to give out the MVP, and we're all sitting there laughing. And the guy goes, "Well, we just want you to know that the MVP doesn't necessarily mean the guy who scored the most points." And we're all laughing because we know the deal. But it still was going to go to one of us, and Ice got the MVP.
Oh my gosh, that. But you learn a lot. You toughen up.
It was these buzz cut guys,
Yep.
So we knew what it was, and there was no problem. We just wanted to play basketball, and that's the one thing I loved about Ice and Danny and us. We just wanted to play basketball. We didn't care about anything else that was going on around us, or this or that, or politics or anything. We just wanted to play basketball and have fun.
Yep. I don't know if you guys know, I was a recreation director at Altona Correctional Facility, in charge of, and we had a former New York Knick come in as an inmate, Sylvester Sly Williams, remember him?
Yeah, I know Sly.
He came in, and, my theory is no one's perfect, people make mistakes, grew in a tough neighborhood, and I was always very kind to everyone and well respected but I've seen some bad stuff, obviously, but everyone deserves a second chance, and that's why Tom Curl was such a great coach, because he believed in second and even third chances, and that's why he went to the NCAA so many times. But I'm gonna ask you this question. I always ask it to everyone. And okay, if Draymond Green and Dennis Rodman played against each other, who's getting ejected?
Well, for me, I think Draymond's getting ejected because Dennis did a lot of stuff, but he was real slick. He was real slick with his. Draymond does like outrageous you know, right in the referee's face type of stuff, you know.
Yeah, Rodman just wanted to instigate. I don't think he really wanted to participate as far as fighting or anything, but he just wanted to instigate other players, and
get in their head.
Draymond's temper would get the best of him, and he'd be tossed first, in my opinion.
Wouldn't it be entertaining to watch that? Gosh, it would be so entertaining. So, what's your thought?
Rodman was such an athlete, though. Rodman.
Yep.
Draymond's athleticism doesn't get anywhere near Rodman's athleticism.
Mm-hmm. Olympic team. I'm going to throw this out yet. Do you think Kyrie should be on that Olympic team? He didn't make it, but I think if someone gets injured, get him on there. He is so tough. And I have a feeling that Kawhi Leonard will get hurt, or someone will get hurt, and maybe they'll get him on there. But I'm not so sure the U.S. will win, because the European players are really a lot really good players, and I'm sure you know that, KB, when you play in some of your tournaments. Did you play against European teams?
Yeah, and they're tough. They play hard, and the referees let you play hard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to be the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And, I feel the same way with the WNBA. Like,
yep.
I've been watching. I went to the inaugural Liberty game, and I've been watching the WNBA for years. And these women, when the WNBA season's over, they go play in Europe,
mm-hmm.
and they play tough, and they come back and they play tough here, and now everybody wants to claim they play too tough or they play flagrant or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But these women can play. Their fundamentals are great.
Yes.
I love watching them. But same thing. European players, they're built different. They eat different. They don't. They're not going to McDonald's every day. You know what I mean? So it's going to be fun to watch.
Back in 1976, I don't know if you guys know this, but the U.S. team trained at Plattsburgh State before they went to Montreal, and the women needed a scrimmage. We thought it was a scrimmage. We go to Memorial Hall. We got picked like an all-star team. Place was packed. Everyone rooting against us. And Hal played. We had Hal, but we're all in high school. And they had, Nancy Lieberman, Lucille Harris, Ann Myers. It was Pat Summitt back then. Oh, no, Pat Head, but she was Pat Summitt. And, I remember Ann Myers blocking my shot and talking a little junk on me. But who do you guys think won that? Take a guess. They ended up winning the... What?
I said I'm going to go with the women.
No, we beat them by 6. Joe Cardney had a great game. Remember Joe Cardney?
Oh, Joe.
Yeah, he played at Union, and so...
he played at Union. We was not fun.
He's a lawyer in
town. I heard
town.
about that game was that Leo Ryan took a couple of elbows to the face, and it was hard for him to strike back.
Didn't
you guys have a nickname for Leo at Canton? I think you did.
No, I'm not going there.
He's listening. He's going to be mad at me for kind of instigating one of you saying it, but I'm glad you didn't.
Leo was a good shooter and a good guy, so hello to Leo.
Kudos, Leo.
Boy, you guys must have had fun at what's that that place on the railroad tracks that you guys hang out at in Canton? I don't remember it. It wasn't. It was a bar.
The inside track, maybe?
There you go. Yeah.
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 Not that I've ever been there.
Yeah. Right.
I wouldn't. My memory may be slipping, but I remember that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we gotta close up the show. It's 9:30. I'm not kidding you. You guys, I have the utmost respect for both of you. Always have. Loved watching you both play. And the one last thing I'm going to say, when I played in a championship game, against Ice. I was at the foul line for 2 shots, and Ice is giving me the choke signal as I'm taking the free throws, and I missed them both. It would have tied the game, and then we saw him, Danny and him, at Mother's after, and right when we walk in, choke signal again.
No, I find that hard to believe.
You did, both you and Danny, and I didn't give you the choke signal. I gave you something else, but I'm not going to say what that was.
Right.
Hey, Tom, before we close, could I just say hey to a couple local friends?
Without a doubt.
Okay, I'd just like to say hello to Larry and Penny Converse, and thank them for the chili every Friday for 3 years. I apologize for drinking all of your Michelob Light, but it was time well spent. You guys were great friends, and I appreciate you. And hey to Tony Bucci and Greg Waters also.
Oh, yeah. KB, you got any friends still here?
Probably plenty, but you know how memory does me. But I do want to thank Norm Law, Von Schiller, for you guys for getting me up there. And, I had a great time at Plattsburgh. I talked to the alumni coordinator a lot. She comes down to Atlanta sometimes, and we have lunch and stuff because, it was just a great time up there.
Yeah.
I was able to get my degree, which is what it's all about in the end, and thank you, Tom, for having me on and getting this walk down memory lane, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it, Tom. Thanks.
We'll see you guys hopefully in the Hall of Fame together. Okay?
Well, that's
Count
the only way
on
we're going.
Yep.
That's the only way we're going.
All right.
Appreciate the kind words, Tom.
Yep.
Thanks.
2 class acts. You guys take care. Bye.
All right, guys.
Okay, that's the end of our show. I hope you enjoyed it. 2 of the best ever at Plattsburgh State, and I could tell you without a doubt the best combo Plattsburgh State. I know I might be a little biased because I knew them, but as far as combo, probably the best. And I wish a lot of you guys had seen them play. But just take it from me, they were phenomenal. And take care. I think next week's show we're going to have John Kamak, who said we're going to get the highest ratings ever with him on there. We'll see about that. But he's going to be entertaining. So thank you all for listening, and I really appreciate your time. Goodbye.
All right, thanks, Tom, and thank you for listening. Join us again next week for another edition of the Tom Lacey Sports Hour here on Hometown Radio, WIRY.